Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sarva Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. My humble obeisances to all assembled devotees. Like this. Thank you very much for coming. Sometimes the enjoyment is not conditioned by how it's called, variety, but by rarity. Sometimes if it's less devotees, can be more sweet and more deeper. So let us see what will Srimad Bhagavatam say for us today. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, Text 29. Kindly repeat after me. Ya vīrya-śulkena hṛtāḥ svayaṁvare pramathya caidya-pramukhān hi śuṣmiṇaḥ pradyumna-sāmbāmba Amba suta-ādayaḥ aparāḥ yaham āhṛtāḥ bhauma-vadhe sahasraśaḥ ya vīrya-śulkena hṛtāḥ svayaṁvare ya vīrya-śulkena hṛtāḥ svayaṁvare pramathya caidya-pramukhān hi śuṣmiṇaḥ pramathya caidya-pramukhān hi śuṣmiṇaḥ pradyumna-sāmbāmba-sutādayo parā pradyumna-sāmbāmba-sutādayo parā Yascha hṛtāḥ bhauma-vadhe sahasraśaḥ. Yascha hṛtāḥ bhauma-vadhe sahasraśaḥ. Yam vīrya-śulkena hṛtāḥ svayaṁvare. Pramathya caidya-pramukhān śuṣmiṇaḥ. pradyumna-sāmbāmba-sutādayo parā. Yascha hṛtāḥ bhauma-vadhe sahasraśaḥ. Ya vīrya-śulkena hṛtāḥ svayaṁvare. Yam, the lady, vīryam, prowess, śulkena, by payment of the price, hṛtāḥ, taken away by force, svayaṁvare, in the open selection of the bridegroom, pramathya, harassing, caidya, King Śiśupāla, pramukhān, headed by, he, positively, śuṣmiṇaḥ, all very powerful, pradyumna, Krishna's son, Sāmba, Amba, suta-ādayaḥ, aparāḥ, children, aparāḥ, other ladies, yaham, those, cha, also, āhṛtāḥ, similarly brought, bhauma-vadhe, after killing kings, sahasraśaḥ, by the thousands. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna, Sāmba, Amba, etc. Ladies like Rukmiṇī, Satyabhāmā and Jāmbavatī were forcibly taken away by him from their svayaṁvara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings, headed by Śiśupāla. And other ladies were also forcibly taken away by him after he killed Bhauma-sura and thousands of his assistants. All of these ladies are glorious. Exceptionally qualified daughters of powerful kings were allowed to make a choice of their own bridegrooms in open competition. And such ceremonies were called svayaṁvara, or selection of the bridegroom. Because the svayaṁvara was an open competition between the rival and valiant princes, such princes were invited by the father of the princess, and usually there were regular fights between the invited princely order in a sporting spirit. But it so happened that sometimes the belligerent princes were killed in such marriage fighting, and the victorious prince was offered the trophy princess for whom so many princes died. Rukmiṇī, the principal queen of Lord Krishna, was the daughter of king of Vidarbha, who wished that his qualified and beautiful daughter be given away to Lord Krishna. But her eldest brother wanted her to be given away to King Śiśupāla, who happened to be a cousin of Krishna. So there was open competition, and as usual, Lord Krishna emerged successful after harassing Śiśupāla and other princes by his unrivaled prowess. Rukmiṇī had 10 sons like Pradyumna. There were other queens also taken away by Lord Krishna in a similar way. Full description of this beautiful booty of Lord Krishna will be given in the 10th canto. There were 16,100 beautiful girls who were daughters of many kings and were forcibly stolen by Bhauma-sura, who kept them captive for his carnal desire. These girls prayed piteously to Lord Krishna for their deliverance, and the merciful Lord, called by their fervent prayer, released them all by fighting and killing Bhauma-sura. All these captive princesses were then accepted by Lord as his wives. Although in the estimation of society, they were all fallen girls. The all-powerful Lord Krishna accepted the humble prayers of these girls and married them with the adoration of queens. So altogether, Lord Krishna had 16,108 queens at Dwaraka, and in each of them he begot 10 children. All these children grew up, and each had as many children as the father. The aggregate of the family numbered in the millions. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yenan Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yenam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So after offering our humble obeisances to all Vaishnava Acharyas, doing namaskar and requesting them for the blessings, Ashirvad, we will try to speak on this very deep, unfathomable topic of relationship of Krishna with his Mahishis of Dwaraka, which definitely by my capacity I'm not able to. I'm not sure, or maybe I'll come closer like this. Yes. Now is better? Yeah, I'll come closer. So which is definitely above our capacity to speak, but I'll give my best by studying Vedic scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, to say according to teachings of Acharyas. So the Vastu Nirdesha, the subject matter of this topic is actually the Hastinapura Nari Stuti, or Hastinapura Mahishi Stuti, the glorification of Lord Krishna Stuti by Naris, women, and the Mahishis, the queens of Hastinapura. And so within this teaching, they are speaking this shloka glorifying Lord Krishna and his relationship with his devotees, especially the queens, Mahishis of Dwarakapuri, and children of these ladies. So actually in general this topic is of Purusha Prakriti Tattva, the reality of masculine and feminine relationship of the Supreme Lord, who is Supreme Masculine, and his queens who are Supreme Feminine. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is describing what is Tattva. Tattvam yajnanam advayam. The Tattva, or the reality, is Advaya Jnana, non-dual substance. But unfortunately some commentators, the Bhāshyakarakas, have interpreted this. That means that there is no savishesha bhava in the transcendence, or there is no distinction in different functions of different living beings in the spiritual world. They are saying there is only nirvishesha bhava, only absence of specificness, no individuality. So, but according to Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, the Advaya Jnana Tattva means that Purusha and Prakriti are united in experience of enjoyment. So the experience is the Advaya, where two consciousness of perceiver and perceived are, let us call it, merge in a real sense, when they are conscious of each other. The perception means individuality, and the original Supreme Being have a tendency to perceive beautiful objects. Therefore he manifested the most beautiful objects, like Srimati Radharani. She is the most beautiful object of spiritual world, and therefore he wants to perceive her. So the Advaya Jnana Tattva, the reality of non-duality, means that perceiver, the subject who is a conscious sentient being, wants to perceive this object which is also conscious. Yes, that is the real tattva. And it's very important for this subject matter, because what I will try to do today, I will try to apologize or to advocate Krishna, because in nowadays world, Krishna is known as the lover of 16,108 queens of Dwaraka, and also lover of innumerable Vraja Ramanis in Vraja, the beautiful damsels of Vraja. So people condemn him. So I will, as his devotee, I will try to advocate and to apologize him. So the scriptures are saying that there is a refutation of objections, akshepa samadhana. So we're trying to refute these objections. So in order to refute these objections, I will try to speak about what means Prakriti Tattva. Because in order to understand God in this context of being lover, we need to understand what means to be beloved also. And then their relationship will resolve how he have legitimate right to enjoy it with them. So the subject Vishaya is that the Lord is enjoyer of all these queens, and the doubt can be there if he is God, how he can marry in ordinary marriage, even marriage like this, which looks like a Rakshasa marriage. To kidnap a bride is an act of a Rakshasa Vivaha. No? It's not Gandharva Vivaha, it's not how it's called, Brahma Vivaha or Rishi Vivaha. Different kinds of marriages are there. So this kind of Rakshasa Vivaha. So how can God do these things, and why would he do this? So in order to understand this topic, really we need to understand what means Prakriti Tattva, the reality of Prakriti. In order to understand them, Prakriti Tattva, we need to understand Purusha Tattva. So the first question we need to ask, does God exist? So the answer on this is, if there is some independent conscious entity, independent, absolute, then he must be God. He must be God. And if he's independent of everyone else, then he must be God, Swatantriya. Everyone else is Paratantriya. So the next question would be then, what is God? Not who is God, but what is God? And Srimad Bhagavatam gives first definition is Janma Dyasya Yataha. The God, or the absolute truth, is the one from whom everything comes, everything gets birth, Janma. Asya Yataha, Yataha means come, it is. So the one from whom everything comes. So the one who doesn't have a cause, in other words. He is his self-manifesting cause. Sarva karana karanam. He doesn't have any other cause. So that original cause, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, is full of bliss. And his tendency is to expand his bliss and to experience the bliss of others. So this bliss of experience of others is actually love. When we want to experience bliss of others, that means love. When we want to experience our own satisfaction, that's called lust. But Krishna is different from mundane lovers. He wants to experience the bliss, ananda of others. Therefore the Upanishads are saying raso vaisaha, that he is the rasa. He is the embodiment of all rasas, or the mellows of transcendental relationships. So his internal potency of Hladini Shakti is non-different from him. So when he wants to experience more bliss, he is interacting with his own Hladini Shakti, which is original Swarup Shakti or Prakriti Tattva. So he is actually engaging with his own energy. So the question is then, who is God? If he is having experiences, then God must be a person if he have experiences like ourselves. because the Upanishads are also saying Tattvamasi Shvetaketo, you are like him. Tattvam asi, you are like him. So the creation must be like a creator, but that also means the creator must be like a creation. So if you want to realize God, you need to realize also creation. You can see the God in creation, the creator in creation. So in order to realize God, we need to see ourselves. If we are a person, then God also must be a person. If we are enjoying, then God must be also enjoying. Rasovaisaha. Rasovaisaha nandam hyevayam labdvananda bhavati. The one who meets him also becomes blissful. Labdvananda bhavati. To be bhavati. So he is the Supreme Person, and the Supreme Person must be also attractive, the most attractive, because if we have some attraction, he also must be the most attractive. So that is Supreme Person. And if we are enjoying, then he also must be enjoying. And the enjoyment is nothing else but love. And the problem is with us conditioned living beings, Bada Jivas, is that we think that we need to get love. But the guhya, the secret is that if you want love, you need to give it. Krishna is looking for the bliss, and therefore he is giving love to all his devotees. No, he doesn't look for that love. He is the rasa, the love. So if we want love, we cannot find it outside ourselves. We need to find it in ourselves and express it outside. That is the point. The love is actually hidden in this world in a form of lust, self-love. Therefore, we are very much bewildered by that concept. So, the love or the enjoyment is actually the unity of two entities, the subject and the object. It is the unity of senses and sense objects. For any enjoyment, there must be unity. If you want to eat food, to enjoy some food, there must be unity of two entities, the subject and the object. If Krishna, the same way, wants to enjoy the beautiful damsels of Vrindavan or Dwaraka Mahishis, he needs to unite with them. So, Krishna is the transcendental enjoyer, and he is not the enjoyer of this world. Because in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying the difference between the sense enjoyment and transcendental enjoyment. He's saying that the kings of earth, the Bhamasara and Śiśupāla, they have kidnapped the queens for carnal desire. Karna is a flesh for the bodily desire. But Krishna, not having such a body, having such an ananda body, he is not going into relationship to enjoy others. Because in this world, the enjoyers are very much dependent on others. If you want to be material enjoyer, Prakrita Purusha, you are very much independent on external energy. But Krishna, being independent of external energy and just depending on his internal energy, he doesn't need to engage with that external energy. He can enjoy only within himself. So he's independent and he's full of satisfaction. So he doesn't go into relationship to exploit others. So to exploit others means lust. Lust is when we see other people to be inferior to us. And love, the prema, means when we see others as superior to us. In order to see them superior, we need to appreciate them as living beings, as Jiva Tattva, Vibhinamsha Tattva, the part and parcel of Supreme Lord. So as Srila Prabhupada used to say, as we would water the root of the tree, everyone would be satisfied. So, but for that also, there must be some knowledge. There is no love without knowledge. Because we can love only as much we can identify ourselves with the transcendence. If we think we are a human being belonging to some nation, to India, to some Western countries, some Eastern countries, we're going to love only that country. And all our neighbors will be our enemies. No? Like Srila Prabhupada said, we are not Indians, Europeans, Americans. So if we have that identity, we will love only on the material platform. But if we have identity that we are Jiva Tattva, that we are living being, which is part and parcel of Krishna, everyone else is like us, Tattvam Asi, or we are like them, then we will really love them. And in order to really love them, we need to know what is the root of ourselves. And the only person which we can love more than ourselves is actually Krishna. Because he is the root of ourselves. He is the essence of ourselves. Anya-bilashta shunyam jnana karmadana anukulena Krishna shilanam bhakti rutamam. Anukulena Krishna nu shilanam. The love must be favorable for Krishna, and Krishna is the one who is the root of all selves, of all living beings. So in order to love others and to bring peace and prosperity to the world, we really definitely need to serve Krishna. So the real love is actually love for Krishna, and by loving Krishna, we will love everyone else. That is very, very important to understand in this topic. And Krishna is actually showing by his example, by protecting all these queens. Some people will object that this is very immoral. He is having 16,108 queens, and he's with all of them, he have 10 kids. So the whole dynasty was numbered in millions. So this must be immoral. So, but if we see the purport, very nicely Srila Prabhupada is protecting Krishna as, how it's called? It is called a Madhurya Nayaka, the hero of the conjugal rasa. And this conjugal rasa is not prakrita madhurya rasa, it's not materialistic conjugal relationship, it is aprakrita madhurya rasa. It is the relationship which is transcendental. As we explained, Krishna wants to perceive their bliss. Krishna wants to perceive these queens to be happy, to enjoy. So he saved them and he married them to protect them. That is real truth. So Krishna is the protector of these queens. And it is said in purport that by custom, no one would marry these girls. But Krishna did. It is such amazing quality of him that he transgressed the custom for his devotee, for these queens who have made appeal to him to save them. The Rukmiṇī wrote Lekha Priti, the loving letter to Krishna, through the messenger, the Duta, to save her. By hearing about Krishna, she came to know that this must be my lover, this is the beloved of my heart. I cannot marry Śiśupāla. So she wrote a loving letter and requested him, please come and save me. So Krishna came and saved her actually, because finally she is non-different from him. She is expansion of Hladini Shakti, expansion of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he saved her. And this is actually the Lila Shakti or the Yoga Maya Shakti, which made the pastime to enthuse devotees to feel separation from Krishna. Same like other 16,000 queens being kidnapped by Bhamasura. By knowing that Krishna is the supreme controller, they pray to him that he saved them. So no one can actually object that Krishna is non-ethically, immorally enjoying with these Mahishis, the queens of Dwaraka. If we know the Shakti-Shaktiman Tattva, we'll know that the Supreme Energetic is not different from his energy. And this Tattva is very important. It is very important socially, it is very important spiritually. It is important socially that we know how masculinity and femininity interact together. Srila Prabhupada used to say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in one statement he said, yes, but Srimati Radharani is not different from Krishna, therefore she is also Supreme Goddess. There is Supreme God, Godhead, and there is Supreme Goddess. So she is also God. We need to also ask ourselves, if God exists, does he have a form? And if he have qualities like being eternal, like being all-powerful, all-knowing, Brahman, then he must have a form, because the qualities, the guna and the lila activity, they are manifesting in the form. They are not formless. They are manifesting in the form. So Krishna must have a form. So what is that form? Is it male or female? It is both, actually. Krishna as a supreme masculine have also internal potency, which is abheda, is non different from him. She is Srimati Radharani and she is feminine. She is personified Krishna's love. So we need to also know that the supreme concept of Godhead in Gaudiya Vaishnavism is Supreme Personality of Godhead, which includes Srimati Radharani, supreme feminine. So that tattva must be properly manifested also in society. Sometimes we have the extremes like feminism, or we have extremes like chauvinism, just by not understanding tattva, the philosophy. No, Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have very nicely explained, very deeply. There's no difference between them. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman, Dui Deha Beda Nai. Radha is Purna Shakti, she is complete energy. From her all energies are emanating. And Krishna is Purna Shaktiman, he is complete Shaktiman, the source of all energies. And Dui Deha, although they have two bodies, they are non-different, Beda Nai. There is no difference. It's Abheda Tattva. So we need to know our philosophy, Achintya Beda Veda Tattva. It is not different from God. Goddess is not different from God. We can see in some religious traditions, when there is no concept of Supreme Goddess, that femininity is not properly appreciated, and so this creates many social problems. Many social problems. You would be surprised the amount of women enslaved, kidnapped, tortured, raped, used for human trafficking in different problems like organ harvesting, human farming. You will be shocked. I will just say one official data, that in a year, in the whole world, 8 million kids are disappearing. 8 million kids. Just think what happens to these kids. So it is very much important in this time of the world to understand the philosophy properly and to preach the philosophy. We will have power to preach to people when we understand philosophy properly. We don't speak sentiments. All these living beings are equal to us. Krishna is Sukrit of all living beings. He sees everyone in equal eyes. So we should have compassion with these living beings. We should understand the reality of today. The most compassionate Krishna's energy is Srimati Radharani. She is the embodiment of Krishna's compassion, and she have incarnated, the Supreme Lord have incarnated in the mood of that Srimati Radharani as Mahavadanya Avatar, the most merciful incarnation. And what he is giving, he is not just giving liberation, he is giving love of Godhead. So only when we'll be empowered by him, by understanding his mood, his philosophy, his tattva, we will be able to help people of this world and try to continue Srila Prabhupada's legacy of saving this world in the worst situation, the calamity which is on the world. Today we have declared epidemic, but just it is around 4 million people died. But just think, a year 8 million kids are enslaved, raped, their organs are harvested for so many brutal things. Just think about that. Just think in which illusion we are living. We are thinking that we are suffering in lockdowns and things like that. But just think how much are really suffering in this world, much more than we know. So this enslavement must be stopped. It is wrong focus in the life. Real focus is to preach, to change the heart of people. Our mission is not to be locked in rooms. Our mission is to reach people and to change hearts. That is what little we can do in this world. So the philosophy is given very nicely to us that living being is meant for Krishna's pleasure, is not for the pleasure of carnal desires, of worldly leaders, of worldly rulers. We think that modern civilization have came to existence when there is no human sacrifice like in ancient civilizations. There is no slavery. But if you know real numbers, you'll be shocked. This civilization is not advanced. We should think really what is our mission, that people are waiting for us. People are literally dying for us. Just like these Mahishis, they had suffered so much and they wanted Krishna to save them. So we should give Krishna to people, try to protect people from these demoniac enjoyers. The Mayika Tattva means that when Prakriti and Prakriti are enjoying themselves. The real Tattva is when Purusha is enjoying Prakriti. Mayika Tattva is disgusting. And it's never actually done, it's never direct. Living being never have direct relationship with another living being. In this world we have relationship through Prakriti Shakti, through material energy. In spiritual world we have relationship through Hladini Shakti and Samvit Shakti and Sandhini Shakti. Through them we have relationship with Krishna and through all others. We never have direct relationship with among ourselves. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. We can have only direct relationship with Him. So therefore Krishna is in the center of spiritual world. But in this world, we need to have indirect relationship through material energy. And this material energy is bewildering us, thinking us to be the enjoyer of everything that surrounds us. The Karana Sharira, the causal body, makes us to think that I am Bhoktara and Ishvara, I am the controller and the enjoyer. And that is the root cause of all our suffering in this world, of all our bewilderment, that we want to enjoy others. We see others as inferior to us. We don't respect others. But this beautiful philosophy of Krishna consciousness enables us to see everyone as Krishna's part and parcel. We respect them we love them, we tolerate them. Tolerance can be done only where there is love, otherwise we just are accumulating bad thoughts. So the love which is given by Lord Chaitanya in the form of his compassion, by giving the real philosophy, giving the philosophy of love of Godhead, prema tattva, will help us to advance spiritually. We should apply it in our lives, and finally help others also and please Krishna in that way. So with this I would finish and request if there is maybe some comment or some question. Yes, Prabhu.
I had a little trouble hearing what was being said, but this point about one can only have a relationship with another if one sees the other as superior. This is early in the class you made the point. And then you also were saying that actually the jivas can't have relationship with each other. I think this is what I understood you to say. But they can have relationship only with Krishna, Srimati Radharani. And then, but yet it does seem, like the cowherd boyfriends of Krishna, they would play with each other. It seemed like they had relationships. Of course it was centered around Krishna, but they would get up on each other's shoulders and run around, and they'd have competitive games. So it does seem, and I like I said, there was quite a bit that I missed, that there was distortion with the mic.
Yes.
Because it's turned up really loud, and I got bad hearing anyway. But it does seem, then we have, Ishvare tad adineshu balisheshu dvisatsucha, that there is the capacity for the Madhyama to have loving relationships with others. That's one of the qualifications, the description of the character of his consciousness. So there seems to be, at least from my standpoint, a little bit of contradiction. In one sense I can understand the point, that we water the root of the tree and then all the leaves and branches flourish. But on the other hand, compassion, and Prabhupada, one of the characteristics that Prabhupada demonstrated in the early, very much so in the early relationships, it's still going on, but devotees just felt so much love from him, and it just melted their hearts, and I'm giving my life to, to Srila Prabhupada. So, do you understand the
exactly.
kind of the philosophical dilemma?
Yes, Prabhu.
That,
yes.
I've fallen into?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Yes, if you allow, I will also say, I believe you overheard as you are saying, the focus is on direct relationship. The focus is on direct relationship. Direct. Focus is on direct relationship. We cannot have direct relationship. And we can see even the loving relationship among devotees is based on bhakti. And bhakti shakti is the combination of some vritti and hladini vritti. The knowledge to experience the object, samvit vritti, to know the object, and hladini shakti to experience his bliss. I want to know you, and I want to know your heart, your experiences, your consciousness. So, even among devotees, as you're saying that Srila Prabhupada was very much loved by others and he loved everyone else, it is by a chit shakti, spiritual energy. So it's not direct with him as a jiva. It is exactly accessing him through the Shakti, and we don't approach him through the lust. We want something from Srila Prabhupada. Even lust is material energy. So even to enjoy someone materially, you need to do through material energy. No, there must be media, because we know the objects by their qualities. Object or the entity have a quality, just like the gandha, the fragrance of a musk, is the quality. So you know the musk only by quality. How do you know that some object exists? Only by qualities. The real entity, the conscious entity, we know only by qualities. So even in this world, if there is no existence of qualities, we cannot know does object exist. Without existence of qualities, like perfume, musk have a smell. Without that smell, you cannot say does he exist or no. But by Achintya Bheda Tattva, we know that energy, the quality and the energetic, the entity, they exist simultaneously. That is our conclusion. And so to know the object, to have a relationship with him, we need to know him through quality, through his energy. So media must be there. Media means for interaction. So in the spiritual world, the cowherd boys, they have relationship among themselves, but never direct. It is always Krishna in center. What is the Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this very nicely, one sentence. To being engaged in so-called worldly activities which are pleasing to Krishna. To be engaged in so-called worldly activities which are pleasing to Krishna, which are according to his satisfaction. Because sometimes we brush teeth, some indirect activities in this world, no? Brush teeth, take bath, prepare for puja, or walking or whatever. No, it looks like material activity. But if you know that is for Krishna's pleasure, that I will be engaged in Krishna's pleasure, and that I'm doing according to Krishna's dharma, which he gave dharma, then this is also Krishna consciousness. Because in spiritual world, that is not that always we have perception of Krishna which is direct, like gopis. Of course, he is in their hearts, and non-different from that, but for their senses he may be concealed. Therefore they feel separation. So what was the point? How we came to this point? There should be a medium. Anyway, for devotees to have relationship direct among themselves, there must be media for reciprocation, that is Bhakti Shakti. And Bhakti Shakti is engaging us for Krishna's pleasure. If we are doing some so-called worldly activity, we should see that is according to Vedika Dharma. It is Vaida Jivana, the life according to Vedic Dharma. Then this is for Krishna's pleasure. And the Krishna is then still in center. And for loving exchange among devotees by giving prasadam or receiving prasadam, giving gifts, receiving gifts, also Krishna is media. We don't give any ordinary gifts. We give gifts which will help person to enhance their bhakti, and we give gifts of which are directly related to Krishna, Krishna's photo or Krishna's prasadam, giving prasadam and like that. So it's always about Krishna, and therefore relationship is indirect. It is through Krishna. So I hope I have answered. It's very deep
I
topic.
think that's the first time I've ever heard that explained like this.
Oh, it is there in Shat-sandarbhas and Jaiva Dharma, both explaining. Yes.
I've read portions of Jaiva Dharma.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because the living being by itself have Sandhini Shakti, Hladini Shakti, and Samvit Shakti, but they are Brahma Rupa, Brahma Jnana, and Brahmananda. That is what living being by itself have: Brahma, Rupa, Brahma Jnana, and Brahmananda. So they have the form, have the knowledge of Samvit Shakti, the form is of Sandhini Shakti, and have the bliss of Hladini Shakti. By svabhava, by their own nature, by our own nature, we have this. But in order to be engaged in Krishna's pastimes, we need to then be engaged through Krishna's original Hladini Shakti, Samvit, and Sandhini, which are unlimited actually. We have our own limited, but they are unlimited. So it is explained like that.
Good.
Thank you, Prabhu. Maybe some another question? Yes, Prabhu. Maybe before we have few minutes, I'll just say one thing, brief thing, which is very important for this topic of Krishna living or marrying the kanyas and parodas, the unmarried girls of Raja and married girls. It's very important to see. If you see the Lord Krishna is eternal, Shaktiman, and his energies are also eternal, then where is the possibility for Parakiya Bhava? Must be only Swakiya, they are his wives. So the Parakiya Bhava of Krishna in Vraja is actually Shuddha Swakiya. Means he's married with them eternally. They are non-different. Just think, if they are Shakti-Shaktimana Bheda, they are non-different. Then how is possibility of them being for him non-lawful lovers? From time of immemorial. So they are non-separate. Their existence is actually one. So Krishna as Krishna, he is not satisfied with service to him, not fully satisfied in service to him in Aishwarya Bhava. So he wants to experience Madhurya Bhava, and in order for that, his Yoga Maya Shakti have created the Abhiman, self-conception, that these gopis, they don't belong to Krishna actually, they are married to other gopas. So it is just self-conception. In order to increase this Parakiya Madhurya Rasa. So it's very important. They are his. This is Shuddha Swakiya Bhava. It is the most dharmic thing which people are condemning even in India. You will hear Ram Bhaktas, you will hear Smarta Brahmanas. They condemn this. They cannot worship Krishna. Because in Tattva they don't understand. By Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnavacharya has beautifully explained in their scriptures, as well as Srila Prabhupada in commentaries. Please, Prabhu, we have short time.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for a wonderful class. Just wanted to add a small comment to this topic. So, among relationships between devotees and also the loving exchanges between Prabhupada and his disciples. Okay, thank you. If we don't see Srila Prabhupada as Krishna's pure devotee, if we don't understand Guru Tattva, then there is a chance of falling down. If we don't see that actually put Krishna in the center of any relationship, it's like an empty capsule without the medicine, or Prabhupada says it's a bullet without gunpowder. So then when Prabhupada spoke about man not going to the moon or the size of a female brain, some disciples, they were not in agreement and some of them left, I heard. It's because when we don't understand Guru Tattva, we then we see imperfections in a guru. We won't be able to see that the guru is perfect. And this is due to the lack of tattva jnana. So I just wonder how much devotees make efforts to actually, philosophy means tattva, translates into tattva. So we should thoroughly understand the tattvas, jiva tattva, guru tattva, Krishna tattva, gaura tattva. So, and then we can put together other things very easily. Everything is connected to the core tattvas, and it becomes easier to understand any other philosophy because we have tattva jnana. So I just wanted to make this.
Yes, thank you very much. Because we are short in time, I will just add a little bit. Sometimes people lose faith. Faith, when I say faith, I mean inclination towards reality, towards truth, when they hear such statements. But we should know that the first one is pramana tattva, and we should know that we are very much limited. Our senses are limited, first of all. And if we think that the Guru is sarvadarshi, he is self-realized as soul, he is tattvadarshi, he has seen the reality, then with that trust we should approach him. And these allegations are actually very ridiculous, because these people are saying that this person may know aprakrita tattva, spiritual things, but prakrita tattva he cannot know. The material life is reflection of spiritual life. So they are saying he can know the tree, but he cannot know the reflection. We know the reflection better than you know. But that's wrong. If you know the real tree, the principle of the tree, you will know what is the reflection. So that is very much wrong. It can be elaborated very, very much. But thank you very much for mentioning. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.